kids, it's Miss Nichols. Just wanted to do a review lesson on the clean edge technique. The clean edge technique just basically means that you're trying to stay inside the lines and control that paint. First of all, you need to make sure that you're choosing the right brush for whatever you are doing. If I'm going to paint a small painting like that and I have little details, then I definitely don't want to choose a big old fat brush like that. So I'm going to put that down. I might want to choose this medium-sized brush to do some larger areas on my painting, like right here. But for something little, I definitely want to use the smallest brush that is available to me, the detail brush. So, first of all, remember how I told you that in order to do the clean edge technique, you need to make sure that you're painting what first? The edges first. So I'm going to paint this section in blue. I don't want to start painting in the middle. I want to paint the edges. And in this particular space, I have more edges than just this one. I have those edges too to paint. So I'm going to hold my brush more vertically, not totally up and down like that, but I don't want to hold it sideways, because if I hold it sideways, it's harder to control. I also want to use the very tip of the brush and just go very, very slowly. It's almost like slow motion painting. I'm just barely touching the paper to get in that little tiny corner and painting as slowly as I can. I'm just pushing the paint right up to that edge. I'm not going to paint on top of the edge like that. When I begin to do this line, I'm noticing something, and that is my paintbrush is in front of that line. I can't see where the paint is going. So I'm going to turn the paper so that I can watch where that paint comes off of the brush. And I'm going to, again, very slowly do that whole edge before I try to paint the center. Painting the center is a lot easier, and you can go a little bit faster. The clean edge technique takes a little bit of practice to get good at it. If you don't get it right away, just keep practicing. That's how you learn to do anything. You just do it until you can get it right. So, let's do that again. The clean edge technique. Very slowly, touching the tip of the brush to the paper. Carefully pushing that paint right up to the edge. Slow motion. I don't want to go over the edge. I'm trying really hard to control that liquid medium. It wants to do what it wants to do, but making sure I'm staying inside the lines. Now, I've done this many, many, many times. I've been an artist since I was a little kid. So if you're not as good at this as you would like to be right away, like I said, just keep practicing. I'll come and help you too. If you feel like you need me to watch you paint, I can figure out what's going on with how you're painting. I'll tell you what, a lot of people, when they're painting an edge, I'll show you what mistake they make. They put that brush right on top of that line and they smoosh that brush on down and drag it, and then it just doesn't look as good. So again, just touch the tip of the brush to the paper. You're barely touching the paper. Push it right up to that line. And I'm lifting the brush off when I get to that little tiny corner. And I'm not going to try to paint all that because my brush is in the way. I need to be able to see where that paint is coming off of the brush. Barely touching the paper. Then I can come in and paint the rest. I want to switch out my brush too, because I have a larger area to paint now. So I can pick up a little more paint on my brush, and I can paint that center and have fun with it. Ooh, you know what? There's a little bit of green in my brush, and that's okay. I like the mixture of blue and green. I might pick up a little bit extra green and just see what happens here. I can have a little more fun painting the center of this shape. One thing about a painting is that you always want to make sure that you're painting every last inch of whatever it was that you chose to paint. And that's why I have newspaper under my paper. so that I can go right off the edge and not worry about messing up the table. That's a good thing. Now that section is painted. I'm going to pick up a little white on my brush. And because I've done this so many times, I know that I could probably accomplish that clean edge technique right here with my larger brush. And just very slowly kind of fill the rest of this section in with that tint of blue-green, which is so pretty. It's that turquoise. Can maybe do a little blending here too, just having fun with it. Love to paint. And if I mess that little section right there, well, you know what? I'm going to pretend like I meant to do that. I'm just going to clean that little edge right up. I don't have to start over. I can just say, hey, I meant to do that. I'm going to make that section just a little bit bigger. No worries. I got it. Now I've got two sections painted, and I like that. I like that lighter color next to the darker color. You can see that edge real good. Y'all have fun painting.